Check. Okay. I think we're good. I hope we're good.
You can hear us? Can you feel me?
I was going to take it to an inappropriate spot, but I didn't want to. All right, I think we're back. Sorry, the mic was not working, not responsive. Welcome back, everybody. We took a weekend off, but we are back. Podcast X. I am T-Bear. This here is MackMan.
Hello, welcome. MackMan here. We're glad to be back with another exciting episode of Podcast X.
We ended the last episode mentioning we had some merch on the way. We are wearing the merch. I'll show the screen first, actually. So we have 3 shirt options, 3 shirt designs. They should be popping up here on the screen for you guys. We have Boom Baby is the shirt that I'm wearing today, actually. You know, that was the inspiration behind it was as soon as I saw that, because the scene was in the trailer. And you can, you know, it was a hell yeah kind of moment. It was like, boom.
I really thought his clouds were going to blow up when it happened.
Kind of probably should have. Huh?
But, you know, we're not talking about continuity and things like that here.
But like, so like, if you look at it, Gambit's on him. So he's controlling like the output. And then he goes and slashes, then Gambit, you know, so there's. Maybe he's just got to stop and we got to. The other options we have is for Forge, you know, and this is what Mackie's wearing today. As you can see, Native American cyborg.
Can you see me all right?
He's up a little higher. There you go. You're kind of girthy, so
kind of girthy.
You're taking
Can you see my neck?
Taking a lot, yeah. Can you see my neck? Is my neck there? And the last one we have fingers. Mackie's trademarked finger sign that he makes before and after the
end of the episode.
That one. So the Boom Baby comes in black only. The Forge shirt is gonna come in black or blue, and then our fingers shirt gonna come black, blue, or yellow. The sizes are at the top of the screen.
Nice.
Support local businesses.
Big shout out to Mr. T-Bear here for making these happen. They're amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
We do have a fingers shirt currently present here right now, so maybe we'll do a giveaway.
And it's the first version of that shirt. So limited edition.
One of a kind, limited edition. We'll do a giveaway. What do we want to do? How do we want to do it?
How about if you comment on the stream or share the stream, or no, if you comment in the video YouTube, your favorite
live stream.
Your live stream and your favorite mutant and whoever
X-Men mutant.
And then we'll do a list, a circle of names or whatever. Whoever does that. Okay.
I usually, because we got to break it up here, but I usually just rip papers up.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that way.
We'll figure it out, though. So, you want to win a free shirt, courtesy of the podcast. Leave a comment on the screen of the live stream as we're going along here, and comment your favorite mutant, X-Men mutant. That'll get you entered into the drawing for the Fingers t-shirt. Moving along, we're gonna go. We're 2 episodes behind. Like we said, we took a weekend off. So we're gonna discuss. Well, I'm gonna speed through episode 7, and you can cut me off. You can add in. Well, there's some. I put some periods here for like a pause. So I'm gonna pause and I look at you, and I want you to finish it off for me. Okay. Add to it whatever. I'm sure the build up. I'll build it up.
Okay.
And then we'll speed read through that. Give our ratings for 7, and then you'll kind of lead us through 8? Episode 8, because I didn't get to write notes down for 8.
Okay,
I'll remember.
We're kind of in the same boat for that, because I wrote notes down for 7. But you know, we'll get it down. We'll get it going.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But I watched 8 before we got here, so it's fresh in my memory.
We watched it this morning too. So, well, I did. Marisol was supposed to. She fell asleep. But it is what it is. Es lo que es. That's how you say that. Do you know that?
Es loco. Es loco.
Es lo que es.
Es lo que es. It is what it is.
I say it like that. Marisol hates it. It is what it is. All right. So episode 7 going right. Here we go. Any shout outs? Anything we're supposed to do?
Well, viewers, our very loyal viewers, we apologize for missing last weekend. One of us went and seen the Great Mutant Nicki Minaj, and we weren't and we weren't able to have a episode.
What's her mutant power?
She's just a bad bitch. As you can see, some of my hair is still pink.
Is that where you went?
Just kidding. Yeah, that's where I went.
You went out of town.
Yeah, so I went to Nicki Minaj.
I was going to interrogate you. You said you went out of town, so.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of assumed, you would know, but yeah, Nicki Minaj.
I told Mac that I was willing to do it and like just to make sure we stay on track, but it didn't feel right. So, and then we had other stuff.
I appreciate
on,
that.
So.
And I did drop the ball. He did ask me to send him write-ups, and I didn't because it just.
I think even if you did, though, I wouldn't have did it because, like I said, then I'd be here sitting talking to myself and. So it is what it is.
Es lo que es. That might be a new shirt. No.
Yeah. All right, so back to the episode here. Episode 7 was titled Bright Eyes. Where do we start? We start with
who was the intro
we
for
have
this
to talk
one?
about 6 to like the build up basically to like recap or just recap. You want to recap 6 real quick just to kind of before we
that was Genosha, right?
Yeah.
Holy, yeah. So, anyways, just to make it quick, a big Sentinel came to Genosha. Gambit's dead, and that's where we're at. A big Sentinel came to Genosha, wiped a lot of mutants out, and one of our favorites, Gambit and a Magneto, were destroyed, and many others. And we're just left out to fall out of that. And at the end, Rogue's just holding her mans, and that's kind of where the episode ends. I can't believe that was the last episode we covered. That was an emotional episode.
It was an emotional episode. Both received 5 toads from you and 5 Gambit cards from me. So, all right. So that led us into 7. We're in the aftermath of Genosha, basically aftermath of Gambit's death. So that start the episode 7. There was nothing new or different in the intro. Rogue says previously on, yeah. So it showed that Rogue was gonna be the main focus.
Wow, there was something new though.
What'd you see?
So in the intro, when it shows like all the X-Men running from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, Homeboy's not there. Gambit's not in there.
In the at the end, like when Magneto.
No, like not when they're running towards each other, but there's that scene where all the X-Men are running from this side of the screen to that side of the screen. I'm not talking about the one where Magneto's group is running and then the X-Men group. It's that one where it just shows our group just running to the left to the right.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, Gambit's not in there.
Not in there?
No,
and he wasn't there before.
He wasn't there before. Dang. But you know who replaces him?
Is Wheels in there with his
not Wheels, but Nightcrawler. Yeah.
Did he? All right. Well, yeah, we kind of those
little things. You know what I mean?
You know, you take give and take. You know, we gave Gambit. But then we
gained
back to the I don't know, back to the team, because I don't know if he was ever part of the team back in the animated series.
I don't think so.
So it's kind of he's with the team now, so it's kind of cool. So shout out my boy Nightcrawler, R.I.P. Gambit. We start episode 7 with Gambit's burial. Opens with Gambit's burial. Cameos from members of the Thieves Guild. That's the group, the guild. The guild's like a. What would you call it?
Would you say it's like
a cult?
Yeah, I guess like a cult. Hardcore, yeah.
It's a big cult, basically. That not like a race thing, but like it's just different groups of thieves, basically, that compete for these powers that they receive from some higher beings. I don't know. There's an episode on it, and that's Gambit's back.
Well, I had to do some research to know who those people were, so I didn't know who they were.
But I actually went back and watched the episode after Gambit RIP'd, so I could show Marisol kind of this is why
his backstory a little bit.
So his brother was there, and his ex. His ex actually took his powers somehow.
Oh, really?
Episode, and then she's like, the only way you get your powers back is if you marry me. But
really
story
okay.
back then.
I have to watch that episode.
The other guy there was a good friend of his. Nightcrawler is the priest, because Nightcrawler is a priest, and speaks
very religious.
Yeah, he speaks bars on Gambit's life.
He does.
He does. He's like that's what I'm starting to notice. When every time Nightcrawler speaks, it's
he
real,
has some good shit to say.
Yeah,
I mean, good stuff to say. Yeah.
Hell yeah, Kurt. So, basically, what he said about Gambit was, Gambit's troubled past made him the hero he died as, basically, in the present. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Anything I left out in that scenery?
I pulled some quotes. He just said, his sins made him into a hero. Every gambler has a tale, and modesty was Gambit's.
Yep. That was good. Shout out to, like we said, shout out to Nightcrawlers dropping some bars. After the funeral, after the burial, Jubilee is crying and saying Rogue should be here because Rogue is not at the funeral. She's, grieving hard. And Wolverine says that she needs to grieve alone. So, excuse me. One thing I wanted to point out is, like, I think usually at funerals there's 6 pallbearers, and there was only 4 for Gambit. And I think that's part because of you don't have a lot of people, he didn't have a lot of friends, and then also it shows like these mutants are really strong. Yeah, it was Beast, Cyclops, Wolverine. Was it Morph?
Morph? I think it was Morph.
Was it Morph?
Yeah.
So that's where that, and then that leads into, I put Rogue is on a mission, and I put like Superman, Neo flying on a mission shit.
She's like blazing, huh?
She's blazing, yeah. You can see it in her face. She ends up at a military base where... Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we at military base, and she's fighting robots left and right. It's easy for her. She's not even struggling, And then it reveals one of our first cameos, and I was shocked by it, but General Ross.
Thunderbolt
Ross. Yeah.
Right. He popped up, and I was like... Marisol didn't know. She was asleep, actually. I was like, I and I pointed. I was like, "It's fucking Ross." But he popped up, and then what he says. Did you write down what he says? Or
he said. So
what he says was kind of. It was cool because it's like, okay, he's alive in this. You could go say what he says.
He just says. They said, well, first one of the soldiers was like, hey, she's here. Da da da. She's gonna break in, and he's like,
they're like scared.
Yeah, they're like, she's gonna get in. He's like, he's confidently drinking his coffee or whatever. He's like, you guys forget. We're in a place that was designed to hold the Hulk. And then not even 2-3 seconds later, Homegirl comes busting in.
She busts down the roof and shit, and then he's surprised there.
She literally brings down the roof.
Yeah, Rogue ends up getting downstairs, and Ross says something like, I thought your kind were the good guys. And then Rogue's like, she say, Sugar, you killed all them. Or you hurt all them or something.
I think you killed all of them, and you got me now.
You get me now. And then she asks, so the whole point, the mission she's on, she's trying to find Gyrick and Trask because she's taking it as they're responsible for Gambit's death. So she's basically out to get revenge, right? So she grabs Ross by the collar and holds him up against the wall and says, tell me where Gyrick is. And he doesn't on camera, but I'm assuming she does because she ends up somewhere else later down the way.
Do you think this is going to have consequences in the future because of how she approached this situation?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. But what's coming up too, I think I'll build off of that. But that's good. I like that you bring that up. All right. So then we cut back to the X Mansion where Cyclops is talking with President Kelly, who's kind of just like, we did as much as you can. If I help you anymore, basically humans, regular people are gonna see it some type of way, and I'm gonna lose votes. And that's kind of how Cyclops took it. Agree?
It was an ugly. I don't know. Like Cyclops kind of made a point, but you're more worried about the votes than the death toll now.
Yeah.
And then
you got it right. He's like, you're more worried about the polls than the death tolls or something. Yeah.
And then he even said that, or the president was just like, well, we haven't found a new survivor in over a week now. Kind of just give up and stuff like that. Which we'll come back to when we go to Genosha. Yeah.
Speed run. So then return to Genosha from there, right? Well, there's some smaller conversation, which is, I don't know, I guess it's kind of important. I didn't write notes on it, I don't think.
Yeah, so they just go there, then basically Scott just says, let's show humanity why hope is important or something like that. And so they just get out and try to help survivors. We have a moment with Beast talking to one of the head clinic people. I don't know if I'm skewing over your notes or not.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Tilby and Beast talk. Tilby's the
reporter.
No, but I thought there was a scene before they go to Genosha where Jean and Nightcrawler talk. Is that later, or you remember?
That's the next episode.
Next episode?
Yeah.
Okay. there's a lot of like cuts between back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I have next was, like you said, they go to Genosha because they want to. Cyclops says, let's show that the X-Men are here to help, here to stay and here to help. So they get there. There's a lot of people hurt. There's mutants missing. You know, there's mutants working. You know, you see the Blob carrying stuff.
Right.
Remember the game we played the last episode, Mimic? Remember I showed him?
He was in there, huh?
He was in there, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't catch it, but I had to go back and watch. And
I noticed that when he said that too. When I was watching the first time, I was like, "Hey, that's Homeboy."
Yeah, Mimic was on there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Because I was like, oh, this is an older... Because on that list, it was like there's a bunch of old X-Men and X-Men foes and whatnot, and he was on there. So to see him was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get off the plane at Genosha, there is just kind of like... What would you call it? Despair. It's kind of just...
Yeah, I was watching like another reviewer online, and he kind of compared it to like a scene of like 9/11, like Ground Zero and stuff like that.
Yep.
And yeah, then like that... I can't remember that mutant's name, but she was in the older episodes, but or older seasons, but she said something
Which
like
one?
people want to, the one Beast was talking to,
the doctor girl.
Yeah.
She was like, I can't remember her name either, but her power was like she turned into mist, and she was like a lover of Professor X.
Oh.
And yeah, we froze real quick. Wide cam. I think I caught it. No, we're good. Where were we at? So yeah, she was a lover of Professor X in the animated series. She turns to mist or like fog, and I think that's how she actually rolls up, right?
Yeah,
in fog or whatever.
Fog form.
In spirit.
Hot box form.
In frog form.
Fog
but one thing that before that, they get off the X jet, and of course, Beast, being the educated person he is, he goes and says, drops a bar. I didn't write it down, but I just thought of it because I was listening to something before we got here, and he said, look for helpers. There's always going to be helpers or something. It was a
Mr. Rogers
quote, yeah. So shout out to Mr. Rogers. Moving on. So Beast and Sylvie, the reporter, are walking, and he gets upset because she basically says the riots, the mutants were rioting. Not the mutants that were at Genosha, but there's still mutants like out in the world that were rioting and doing this and that. And they make a quote to Martin Luther King. I forgot what it was. Did you write that one down?
I didn't write it down, but I remember what he said. He said the riots are the language of the unheard.
Yeah, that's what. Look at you.
I'm trying.
I like it. I like it how Beast was the one to say the quote, and then she was like, Martin Luther King. I'm just as smart as you, motherfucker. Basically, but she kind of just said, like, because they're rioting, they kind of like had it coming, is kind of how I took it, and I think that's how Beast took it. You know, it's like, well, what'd you expect, kind of, you know, like, is that kind of how you took it, or is that how Beast took it, you think?
I think the way he took it was because Tibley, is it Tibley?
Tilby. Fuck yeah, it's Tibley.
Tilby was said something about tolerance and like fear, and then it kind of just turned into a situation where it's just like, oh, so you know, you're being tolerant of mutants, and then she's like, well, I didn't mean it that way, and then he's like, well, that's kind of where you're coming off, and he's like, girl, bye, and just like walks away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because
it's like, I won't. Something about that, but you could tell he's pissed.
Because then he related it back to Xavier's dream too. Was like, maybe we gave too much credit to humans, and for Xavier's dream, whatever. And then that's what she said. Well, you know, something about tolerance and all that. And then she's like, oh, so you know, you have to tolerate it. And so I just turned to something.
Yeah. So Beast and his boo thing are kind of beefing right now. Scott and Jean, when they get there, Cyclops is like, look, no one touched the temple. It's too unstable. Me and Jean can handle it, and they're still kind of going through their thing. There's
you just kind of like gave me an idea, like, okay, so I remember them saying that, like, oh, we'll go to the Citadel, we'll handle that because it's nobody's touched because it's unstable, and I feel like that's kind of like symbolism of their relationship though too, because they really haven't really got the time to build,
and they end up like doing that. Yeah, that's crazy. It's unstable, just like us. We'll go deal with it. Scott and Jean going through their things still. Scott's sure they will find Madeline, who I read a tweet. Well, I didn't read a tweet. I wrote a tweet that one of my reviewers. So for the camera, I watch the episodes about 2 times to try to catch things, and I do catch a lot of things. But like I said, I'm not a diehard X-Men fan. So I go and watch some review people. The people I watch, they're called Screen Crush, and they break it down. Like they point out the Easter eggs. They see the stuff I saw, and then they see the other stuff. You know, so to see like the other stuff, and then to kind of like to see how they break it down and whatnot, and learn more basically. You know, and then come here and I'm trying to share that with you guys. So so everybody's learning. You know, so I feel like that's,
and we don't steal ideas. We get inspiration is what it is. Yes.
So I'm shouting out Screen Crush because that's where some of my stuff comes from. But a lot of my notes are what I catch, and then I share with you guys my inspiration.
We're capable.
Yeah. So I was Scott sure they will find Madeline. So they approach the temple. They move a rock, or whatever. They enter, and they both whip their head back like. Because the smell just reeks or something. Well, you don't smell it, but like, their reaction, you can tell.
Their facial reaction.
Show me how they're. So they're moving, and then Jean she's overwhelmed because I think she's like getting last thoughts or something. She says, right?
Yeah. So I think she's overwhelmed with like the smell, and then also like I put that down too. She said,
like unfinished
echoes. Echoes of unfinished,
unsolved.
Yeah, I think we're kind of skipping over some things here.
Are we?
Yeah, because we didn't get to that part where they're actually, because so like they're talking about that, and then when Tilby is there, and then we cut to Ro going to that house.
Okay.
And then we have that.
I do have that down, and I just thought I was trying to go off of memory, like when it was.
Okay.
So
I'll follow your lead.
Okay, my bad, but I should have just wrote it down. I was trying to go. I was literally writing down the notes, like.
No, you're good.
All right. So where were we at?
We'll be right back.
We gotta get shit straight. But no, like Jean's overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
They, she's like, I'm getting echoes, like you said, of unfinished. Unfinished what?
She said I'm getting psychic echoes from unfinished dreams, wants, and I think desires. Like, what would it say? Past lives unresolved or not finished or something, like that. And it's like it's crazy to see. Like, not only is she like they're got the smell and rot of like dead people. Because you gotta think they're like been dead for like over a week now.
Yeah.
It's like there's corpses rotten, but then also she's getting that fallout of like dead psyches and like unfinished dreams and stuff. She's like that. So like she's getting like a double kind of hit of it,
Yep. So she says all that, and then basically, then Scott confirms what she says, and then he basically says, kind of like us, like our unfinished stuff isn't figured out, isn't solved, basically. And then Jean gets hit with like, there's a psychic over there or something.
Yeah,
so it's a telepath. Then Cyclops is like all excited. Oh, it's Madeline.
Mm-hmm.
So they go and they end up walking up to the top of the temple, and like everyone's happy, like, oh, they got a survivor. Everyone's because that's in a time like that, I'm sure that's the most positive thing that can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Wolverine, like he's holding thing of water bottles, and everyone kind of just puts down what they're doing to go see who it is, and then. Jean's like leading the way, carrying the body out with her psychic abilities, and then it ends up being Emma Frost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Emma Frost, who is a telepath, in the animated series didn't have her diamond ability. So spoiler alert. She didn't use her diamond. I don't think she was able to do or didn't know she could do the diamond abilities through this whole physically,
seasons.
Right?
Yeah, physically.
Because in the brain she could or something. Remember? Because I think in the animated series. Professor X tried to, but she would always block him out somehow, and it was because like she can diamondize her head.
Her thoughts.
That's a word.
Diamondize. Bedazzle.
But so they bring her out, and then B says like, "Oh, a new adapted."
Oh,
what did he say exactly? You the quote guy today.
The quote guy, oh, that's a diamond transmutation. Emma's never had that, but it's probably happened from extreme stress or something like
under
that.
Duress,
under duress. Duress.
And then
she says,
corny line.
She's like,
per episode.
I'm always done well under pressure.
I was like,
we have to have that corny. You know what I mean? It's part of the 90s, synthetic and
so she
corny.
says that, and then it pans over to Cyclops, who's like pushing his visor up, and, like, crying, and he's wiping. You can actually see tears, I think, right? Mm-hmm. So the time of this episode might be off, because from there, then Morph calls back the team to the Blackbird because Trask phoned and requested them to go to Madripoor. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, that's what I would say.
But before that, so it was before that. That's when Rogue and Okay, so that's the part I'll go over now. So that happened, and then Rogue, who left the military base where Thunderbolt General Ross was, got the information she was looking for. She's now in a mountains winter cabin somewhere.
Yeah, some kind of
winter setting
place. Mm-hmm.
And before entering the cabin,
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was.
That's your entrance.
I was really gassed at this part, and we see a red, white, and blue with a star shield come flying, and it's Mr. Steve Rogers. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? We got so many cameos in this episode here.
America's Top Cop. Did you say America's Top Cop, or did you say the government's top cop? Do you remember what she called him?
No, I said, what she called him?
Yeah, she called him something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember what she said, but
sorry,
yeah.
Ruin your moment.
No, I thought you were asking what I called him earlier, and it was racial.
America's ass.
Yeah, America's ass.
But they kind of spoiled it, in the trailer.
Did they?
Yeah, because they put out like trailers for each episode.
Oh,
did you know that?
I guess I wasn't following that.
So they showed like at the end of the trailer, like what would you call like the end trailer scene?
Like an end
credit. Like they show the trailer, then they show like the episode name or the day it's coming out, and then they show like a quick 2-second
snippet, whatever.
So like in that trailer, they showed his shield hitting the ground. So like, as soon as this scene shifted from whenever it shifted from to that winter scene, I shot up. I was like, "Oh fuck, that's Captain America's coming!" So I was kind of excited. But it was a good cameo.
Brief cameo.
He made a cameo in the animated series, which we won't touch base on because, like you said at the beginning, this is X-Men, this ain't Avengers. Fuck off, America. One thing though, like before his shield made an appearance, did you see his bike made an appearance?
Yeah, like
did you know that was his bike?
I didn't think so. I thought it was with that. I thought it was Gyrix for some reason, but then after I put 1 and 1 2 together, it's like a classic bike, and it was his, right?
Yeah, it was his. They said it was his. The people that are watching, shout out to Screen Crush, the license plates.
Oh yeah, that was the first. Was it the first comic of Rogue?
Yep, it was an Avengers comic that introduced Rogue.
Rogue, okay, yep.
That's cool.
And I knew that. I didn't look that up. I looked that up.
I was gonna give it to you. Oh yeah, like a frog. They go down. So they show up. Captain America, Steve Rogers, stops her and says, "You can't be doing this. There's a way to do this. I'm actually doing what you're doing too, but I can do it because I've been instructed to do it." Basically, kind of gives me like a Doctor Strange, WandaVision. Remember what she said to him? Like I break
you break the rules and you become a hero. I break the rules and I become a villain. That doesn't seem fair.
That's exactly. You gotta just thought of that. It's crazy. They go down. They go in the cabin. Looks like a normal cabin. Cap kind of what is he? Is it a radio?
Yeah, and it's strange how he knew what radio. I was kind of like, how does he know what dial to go to make it happen? So like he just kind of knew, and then they started going down.
It's a bait. Remember, it's owned by the government.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
See, I'm missing these things here.
Like later in this, where they battle at the end, it's spoiler alert. It's owned by the UN.
Oh.
But remember, he said he was already there. His bike was there. And then, because this is what I wrote it down. they go down. So he dials it in. There's a secret like elevator. They go down, and obviously Gyric's not there. He got moved to Mexico City, and Cap says that like I hacked it already. Remember, so like okay, he was already there. He hacked it all. So Rogue's just slow or something. Rogue can fly, but still, Cap beat her there on a bike in the mountains, and so like what?
Go ahead.
I was like, why even go downstairs? And if he's not down there, just say, hey, I already hacked it. He's not here. But maybe she's so mad she had to see it.
Right, but yeah, I don't say this is the first time they hear the words or the letters OZT. Like, what the heck's OZT? You know. Yeah. And then that's when Rogue kind of asks, hey, Captain, you going to come with us? Do you still support the mutants or not? And then this is where I was kind of disappointed in Captain with this one, but I guess I can see it. But he said, we need to do this one by the books. My hands are tied. Yeah. And then you can share what pettiness Rogue did.
Basically put, Cap needs permission. Like you said, my hands are tied. And I put, so Rogue yeets his shit and dips. Yeets his frisbee and dips. So like from the moment, and I just realized this, I knew it, but from the moment he throws the shield to like kind of stop her from just going and confront her, he holds on to his shield the whole time. Right. That's crazy. And
you think he should give it back? I noticed that too.
Yeah,
like, why
she's holding on to it like while they're downstairs, and then they find out where he went. She shares like, okay, she busts through. He says my hands are tied. I need permission. Basically, I need to regroup with my team. Who's his team? Remember you asked earlier. So when you asked about what was it that you asked about? You remember? Earlier in the conversation with Jenna Ross. So you said you think there's going to be repercussions or something? Oh,
yeah.
So Jenna Ross is in charge of like not overseeing, but what? Capturing the Hulk or
like
he's tied in with the Hulk somehow.
Opportunity, so, yeah.
In MCU universe, Hulk's part of the Avengers. Now, like, this is where I was like, okay, do you think the Avengers are...
Oh, I see what you're getting at now. So you're thinking
I'm trying to like line it all up. No, because the MCU, that's a whole different thing.
Well, I just feel like this could even be lead into, because they did talk about doing an animated movie with X-Men and Avengers. They said it's a real possibility. They didn't confirm that yet, but maybe that could lead into that. Like, hey, why is the Avengers after you because you're doing this stuff? Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then like. I really love it too. That's like one of the highlights I love this episode is pulling different characters into this too. So like the Hulk, what else did we say? Hulk, Captain America. Yeah. So I think it's interesting just to pull these different pieces together.
So he says that, like I said, I need to regroup with my team. My hands are tied. Throws his shit like in the mountains. Throws his shit.
Right. I'm like, damn.
Then he just looks at her.
Do you think he actually goes and looks for it?
Yeah.
Man, I'm like shoot it.
He just magnets it and he just has another one. Okay, then from there, I don't know if my timeline might be wrong, but through all of this, you're doing it to yourself, girl. Jubilee and Roberto decide they want to go tell his parents he's a mutant. So there's Genosha's going on, Rogue's MIA. And Jubilee has the idea. So this is what I said. Jubilee, do it to yourself. Like, you could be an X-Men, doing X-Men shit, but you want to go. But granted, it's like something that's been eaten at Roberto, you know. Right, and she's being a friend, supportive and whatnot. So they end up leaving Genosha. Is that timeline about?
We're kind of all over the place, but we're fine. I think we're hitting the points.
So they leave. His parents are in.
I didn't catch where they were at, but
I don't think it says. Was it Madripoor?
I don't. No, I don't think so.
It's crazy though, because in the next episode I'm gonna mention something.
Okay.
And I think it was a mistake on the animator's part, but.
Oh, okay.
So Jubes and Roberto leave. Anything else at Genosha? I kind of mentioned that they got called back. The X team, X-Men got called back. Mm-hmm. They're gonna leave soon to go
to
Madripoor because Trask phoned them. So then
was you surprised at that?
What's like that Trask called them?
Reached out to them?
Not really. Like seeing, because remember that one was at 5 when Gambit died. That Trask was running from Sinister, and I think he's legit scared for his life and stuff. So what else to do but call, enemy of my enemy is my friend type shit. Shout out to Alien vs Predator. Back to Rogue. So my notes here, I go back to Rogue now, and she is in Mexico City. Pulls up on Gyric's resort, not a jail, which she says, not a jail.
She's like really surprised. Like, this is a really nice facility for someone that's supposed to be locked up.
Yep, not a jail, but come to find out, the OZT, who we still don't know exactly who they are like guarding him or watching him. They're responsible for moving him. Is it a penthouse? He actually isn't scared that she's there. Which is weird.
He seems real confident, like he knows she's there, and
he's like looking at some butterflies or something, and then he hears all this going on in the background. He just smirks. So he's expected somebody to come, is what I put down. He wasn't scared. Rogue interviews him, grabs him by the collar. Again, that's her thing this episode, and then ends up touching him to learn more, and she gets knocked out. Is what I put. What did she see? I don't want to spoil too much. I was kind of confused. I don't remember.
I feel like she's seen Nimrod.
Was it this one?
Yeah.
I thought it was Jean that saw it in the next episode. That's why I didn't put it
I think
down.
she sees it too, but she briefly just sees a brief picture of Nimrod real quick.
Yeah.
On like a shape of him or whatever. And then I was kind of watching
face,
on
right?
just like the face, whatever. And I was watching something online where he said they had another additional scene to kind of understand how Rogue got to where she was after this scene, because then we pick up later where Kirk finds her in the alleyway, and you're like, how the hell did she get there? But there's like a
Nightcrawler
for
those uneducated,
uncultured people.
Kurt Wagner.
And there was a scene to show that she was just overwhelmed with when
Is
she
it
touched
deleted
that
scene?
Yeah, it's a deleted scene.
Did you see it?
No, they were just kind of
just
explaining what it looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, and so.
But yeah, because it does kind of jump from there to, pulls up to swoop.
I love
the team pulls up.
Notes.
So did it go from her doing that, touching Gyrick, to then what? To then her, or what? What was after that?
So then. Oh, so that's when Roberto goes to his mom and talks to his mom about him being a mutant and stuff like that.
Oh, that was this episode?
Yeah.
My time. I'm sorry, guys.
So then,
so
yeah.
You want to touch base on that real quick?
Okay, so yeah, Roberto and Jubilee get to their mom, and then they're his mom, and she's like, okay, you can do it this way, but then he just comes out and says, Mom, I'm a mutant, and then she's like, okay, she's like, oh, I'm relieved for you to tell me that. And he's like, what? And then she's like, yeah, me and your dad knew the entire time. She's like, 4 of our homes burnt down since you turned the age of 16. Yeah. And she's like, I'm a mother, or it was your secret to tell. That's why we left it for you to tell us. And she's like, a mother knows.
It's kind of going good, right? Like you think she's all supportive and finally, okay, he told us, we're happy. And then
she drops a bomb. And then she says, now the trick is to keep this private. Shareholders are rattled by anything mutant related because they're like a wealthy family. So they don't want to rock
jeopardize
the boat
losing
all their money and
be
stuff like that. And so now they're like, what the heck? What's gonna happen here? Yep. Boom, baby. And so then we go to Kurt Wagner Nightcrawler.
Real quick before you go to that, I wanted to talk on the part where I thought was cool, the camera, I don't know, call it camera work, but the animation of when Roberto's staring at the door, he gets tunnel vision, and you can see his nerves are kind of setting in, and he's kind of probably he's been there before, and he's probably ready to I can't do this, and then it shows Jubilee grabbing his hand I'm here with you.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. It's a cartoon, but they're going through these emotions that we always say people
he's dialed into that, and then yeah, like you said, he has tunnel vision, but then he has that support from Homegirl. Yeah,
I thought that was cool. Okay. So then now Nightcrawler finds Rogue in an alleyway. She's still in Mexico City. She wakes up, and across the street there's a cemetery, and it's I
think it's Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. I was thinking, what's the Coco movie? Coco.
Oh yeah,
a Coco thing going on over here. They're paying their tributes to their dead family members, the ones that passed on and whatnot. And then him and Rogue and Nightcrawler start chatting up, and Rogue and Nightcrawler, I think, helps her realize it wasn't her fault. She looks up and sees her family, basically. Because he's talking, and then he says, or she's like, you got the
you drew
short
the short
straw.
stick.
Yeah, short straw.
Short straw, yeah.
The sister that goes bonkers over losing a boy or something. Then Nightcrawler says, you lost too. Like, basically saying you have a right to feel the way you do, you know, but you're not alone, is what that whole message kind of. And then, like I said, it's not your fault, because I feel like she felt guilty because Gambit saved her, well, not Magneto saved her. And then he said, you're not the reason they died, you're the reason they lived, or something. Basically,
yeah.
That just kind of literally opens her eyes and makes her realize everything, and she just balls out.
She starts crying. She's finally mourning, you know.
Yep. Balls out, and Nightcrawler's holding her, and then Jean Grey comes up and puts her hand on her back, and then Rogue turns around, looks at everybody, and all the X-Men are right there, just like, you know,
like support, like, hey, we're here for you, homegirl,
which is cool. So, anything I miss?
No.
Back on track, kind of.
Yep.
All right. Where we at here? Now back to Gyrick, I think, right?
Yeah.
Back to Gyrick, who is recovering from Rogue's touch. Oh shoot, that's your camera. Back him. From Rogue's touch. Now enter the big bad guy.
We don't even know who it is yet.
We don't know who it is yet. This guy walks in. I think you said that because I have his name.
You almost said it, yeah.
We don't know who it is yet. But he basically tells him, Gyrick's like, you did it, you know, your plan's following through. And that guy says, no thanks to you, you almost blew it by killing Professor X. So then that guy ends up strangling Gyrick. He's hooked up to like a breathing machine, lifeline, and he ends up flatlining, and that guy just walks out. Gyrick's dead.
We're like, who the heck is this guy?
Who is this guy? I know who it is. Well, up at that point, I didn't know who he was.
I didn't either.
I had an idea though, but
you did?
Based off this season, like I was like, okay, I think I know who he is. And then based off of my people that I watched, like they had ideas.
Okay.
So we won't spoil it.
Okay.
No spoilers here. Back to Madripoor now, right? The end scene.
Yeah.
The end game.
End game. We're in the game now.
They roll up to the building. So Trask, the scientist, said, "Hey, come here." Left a little hint, like, "I'll make sure the lobby's cleared out." He says something about like the vending machines never had a diet. So they walk in, and then Wolverine's like, I guess we know what Trask meant by clearing the lobby. And he says, sleeping gas, because, you know, he can smell. Yeah. He can smell. And then Morph is the one that kind of like, oh, the vending machine. So he turns around and runs over to the vending machine. And he orders a diet Pingo Loco, which is a Hulk callback. Remember, with Edward Norton movie? That's the... pokes his finger, cuts his finger, the blood gets into the soda. Stan Lee's cameo as he drinks it and then gets like a little kick or whatever. So that was fun. Hulk Easter egg. So secret vending machine door. He buys that vending machine. Morph does, and then he opens the door, and then like Morph does. It's kind of real like mysterious and stuff, and then Morph just opens that and starts drinking it. And then it shows like the elevator scene of like the team going up.
And then he's just like slurping his
he's
drink.
Just slurping it. I thought that was funny. They go up to the top floor where Trask is. He's about to jump off the side of the building.
What do we see in that room, though?
Yeah, I was kidding.
Oh, I was kidding.
I wrote just the way I wrote it. He tells him what Sinister did, made him a monster. B says that the technology in this room is light years beyond us. And the technology in there is like Sentinels, but like the size of humans, basically, right? And just a bunch of other stuff in there. Am I missing anything? No, that's about it, right?
Yeah, they're just like, this is like technology beyond years. How do you get access to it? And they're like, what's OZT?
I was gonna put Buzz Lightyears, but
Buzz Lightyears.
B says light years beyond us. How did you get it? And he doesn't really say how they got it, right? No, he said,
I just don't know, you know. And because he said, when this character came in,
Trask still thinks
it's Sinister.
It's Sinister, yeah. So he's like scared of Sinister. He says that he's done letting Sinister make a monster out of him, which I wonder if he knows what he actually did to him, or if he. Because I didn't think about that. So, he's jumps and Rogue grabs him, He's like, no, we're not done. You got give us more information. He says, basically, I have nothing left to give you guys.
You gotta say it in her voice.
Same, sugar. And she drops him. Yeah. He has no information, and she drops him. And then I put period talk, because I feel like this is a very conversational. That was a conversational scene.
Oh my gosh, it was very
because X-Men. That you think they would kill, but like that's really the first time you've seen somebody like kill, you know, like even like Wolverine. Like I think they somebody made a comment about like when he's fighting, he doesn't like fight to kill, or like he doesn't like only time he uses his claws is against like robots and like not even against other mutants. I don't think so. Like everyone has their response, like Cyclops and Jean Grey, because like Jean Grey could have. And here's what I thought, was like, he could have easily...
You could just grab him, you know, like...
But she didn't. And then, like, nobody responded. Everyone was kind of like... And then I think what Wolverine says is kind of like the truth, you know? She's like...
You were doing all that we wanted, or something like that.
Yeah, Nightcrawler... Was it Nightcrawler? Yeah. It was
Morph said, this is what we are.
But Nightcrawler was like, Rogue, what did you just do?
Oh,
and then Wolverine says, what we all wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then... I don't know why it's funny, but Morph's response is like... Is this who we are now? Like, when the fuck did we get ice cream? Do you know what movie that's from?
Yeah.
When the fuck
The Ringer.
Did we get ice cream? So that's I was like, Morph is kind of like, because he has like a genuine response, but I love Morph.
This is who we are.
Then I just put some quick notes down because I think this is when you walked in. I put last battle. You can kind of talk about the ending of episode 7.
Oh, okay. So it was we seen a dark side of Rogue. Yeah. And then, you know, I think one thing, if you notice too, like when she lets go of Trask, like he kind of turns and his face is like frightening. And like, to me, that's almost like he was thinking suicide ideation, but he didn't really want to die. I think he was kind of really
wanted to be saved.
Yeah, he wanted to be
helped.
Yeah. But then Rogue actually let him go. And then we think, dang, okay, we just killed a human being. And then, you know, Rogue's going off like, well, he killed, you know, my mans, and that's how it goes. And then all we hear is terminate. And we hear terminate, and boom, big explosion. Our X-Men wake up, and then we see Trask, a human sentinel, and we're like, what the heck?
Zombie sentinel.
Zombie sentinel. Because
they look kind of,
they look
like,
zombified.
How they transform into the sentinel, it's scary. How he did, because he. Like you said, a big explosion. Rhodes kind of going off of why she did what she did, and then out of nowhere, it just hear terminate mutant or something, and then Rogue gets dropped like one punch, and that's rare because Rhodes, she's basically Captain Marvel, right? And Captain Marvel's like can go toe to toe.
Strong as hell, yeah. And that's what Cyclops says too. Is like, okay, he knocked Rogue with one punch. We can't pull our punches. Yeah.
But I was getting into the how they transform, or how he transformed. He flies up, he punches Rogue, and then like before he actually turns around, his head turns around, and then like all the way around, and then his body comes afterwards. So that was pretty creepy. So I'm like, all right, and his eyes are yellow, they're like pink and pale, and they're like you see their veins, and we come to find out later why we see that stuff. So what's the anything about the battle that you like? Like
I like that Quicksilver made a cameo.
Oh yeah, that was cool. It was kind of, and it being Morph, it was funny to see, like, because that's right when Cyclops says that we can't pull our punches. So then he turns into Quicksilver. Then he runs up to that Sentinel. He's just jabbing him up. And then like when he stops, it looks like he's doing a bunch of damage. But then he just stops and he looks at his hands like they're smoking because he's pushing so fast. And then he just gets dropped.
Yeah, he does. I thought he died though. It looked like he died because like. When he did that, like it seemed like there was liquid when he got punched or whatever, and that's when Morph...
it's just him like when he morphs back at it, because I'm starting to notice that with Morph, like when he morphs, he kind of morphs like I don't know if it's his body like leaving the current form to like back or something, but I kind of noticed that too, but because Sentinel zombie hits him and says mutant neutralized or terminated or threat terminated something, so yeah.
But this shows also like your boy. How he cares for Morph, because right when Morph got hit, Morph, no, that's what Wolverine says. You would
think he's gonna go and do some damage, but it really shows how strong this form or this what would you call it
version.
Version. I was gonna say this version of Sentinels is like, because Beast is a pretty. He doesn't show it a lot, but he's pretty strong, you know. And him and Wolverine both go try to attack it at the same time, and they both just get leveled. And again, threat neutralized, threat terminated.
Right, one after another, huh? Mm-hmm.
Oh, before that though, I liked one part. I liked when the building's collapsing, and it's kind of backwards, but it's the building's collapsing, and there's a bunch of rubbish, and then in the middle of a city, right? So, Wolverine says, "Summers," like he tells Scott, like, you know, handle this shit because there's debris falling on shit. So, what was it like? I think Jean grabs the building.
He said, "Jean, get the building, and I'll get the rubble."
Yeah. So like, Jean gets the building, she throws it into the river. So like, even though like what Rogue just did, they still we're still worried about safety of.
Right.
I thought that. So I thought that was pretty cool little clip.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, like Wolverine calling Cyclops Summers stood out. I don't know why, but they're like grandpa thing to do, call somebody by their last name. Remember, Wolverine's old as fuck, so that's what I thought. And then I'll let you talk about Jean Grey's little moment. She puts up a nice little fight.
Yeah, she does, but she gets handled too, you know. And then I think they all get handled one by one. Jean goes down, and then it's just Scott, and then he was blasting Trask, and then Trash just comes up and.
Bro, can I just walk through his laser beam?
Like it was nothing. And then he just put his face, put him on the ground. And then we see a grenade land by him, and it goes off.
What did the Sentinel say to him? Do you remember?
Something about my inferior self. Do you remember what my inferior self said to you in the something desert?
In the Sahara. Remember
Sahara
in the desert?
Mm-hmm. And he said something about you would fear the future for being left behind or something like that.
Calls him an orphan or something too, because that's one of Scott's like deepest fears or deepest, I don't know. But yeah, he says something about being an orphan, and then I guess we'll say like why Trask said that, because that kind of tells you what these Sentinels are, I think, at the time. He's like, my inferior, like you said, my inferior self. So we'll come back to that later.
And Jean did say I still sense Trask's mind in there.
Yeah, before they even started fighting. So, and then that's when we can't pull our punches. Fuck that shit. Trask is. So we see a grenade come.
Electric grenade goes off, the power grid goes down, and then we see Mr. Cable walking up.
Fucking Baby Nate.
Baby Nate. And at this time, they don't know that's Baby Nathan until Jean has some kind of psychic echo or something. She's like, it's you. And then he's like, hey, get out of my head. You're not her. And then he's like, and Cyclops is like, Nathan? And he's like, yeah, you gotta, these guys go down easy with these. Yeah, these
electromagnetic grenades is the quickest way to take down these things. Where I come from, I think he says anyway. And then when Cyclops says that, Nathan, it is you. Then let's skip the reunion, Dad. He's like just on a mission. I thought that was funny. Let's skip the reunion, Dad.
And you can do the final review.
Yeah. Okay. So then that happens. You know, Cable shows up because, like we said, that Sentinel did work. Like even moving forward, like wondering how they're gonna compete against him, you know. And then Cable shows up, shows him like, oh, this is the easiest way to take him down, quickest way. So all right, there's some hope they can fight against him a little bit. We kind of end with that, and then we get into the I won't call it like the end credit, the last scene, and it's the guy that strangled Gyrick,
the mysterious person, the mysterious person at the time.
We still don't know who he is. Yeah, he's looks like I don't know what he looks like. He's black and he has his purple upper, but he's walking into a barber and it looks like it's in the rundown,
like the abandoned
town or something. And to this chair, well, he enters with his theme music, which is the Purple People Eater. I don't know if you ever heard that song. But yeah, he's in there. I forgot. He's in there snapping, and he's kind of like no fucks given kind of thing, you know, like just I'm here to do my thing and that's it. He's kind of monologuing and whatnot, and we find out who's in the chair, and it's Magneto.
Oh my gosh,
What'd you think when you saw him?
A reveal? Like,
did you expect it to be him?
I did not expect it. I thought it was just going to show him. I thought this mysterious character, because we still don't even know his name yet, right? And he was just going to reveal more of what his plan looked like. But then we find Magnus locked to a chair, and he and he has a collar on. one of those collars, you know, so he can't use his
mutant neutralizer
suppressant
power,
collars, whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's weird because then he's like talking about pores, skin, and stuff like that, and then he pulls out a hot towel and he starts shaving.
Yeah, so he says something along the lines of heat has causes certain things like the pores to open, and then he starts shaving Magneto, who has like a beard, because like we said last time we saw him, he was assumed dead.
Over a week now.
Over a week now, so he has a beard. He has some straight.
Does your beard grow back that fast?
No.
Okay.
Hell no. Native. Ho.
Hey, whoa, like whoa, yeah. Fortune.
So this guy's going off, and he's basically says, you know, I can shave your beard so easy because the heat causes your pores to open, and it reacts just fine as long as you cooperate and hold still with everything I say. So basically tell him, like, I got plans for you, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna live as long as you know. This is Magneto that he's threatening. And I think Magneto even kind of gets... Did he seem like scared?
He's kind of like,
something?
Like, yeah, what the heck's going on here?
Because without his call, like we said, we addressed this on the Madeline Pryor episode. Like, at the end of the day, like, Magneto controls metal magnet. And under that, he don't have, like, healing abilities and shit like that. So, like, he can easily, like, slit his throat, right? And he could die.
Yeah.
I mean, it's comic world, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But that's...
He's vulnerable without his powers. He's
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes, he's vulnerable. And because if he had his powers, he could easily take the fucking razor out of his hands. But, so, Magneto is back. I'd camera to you when I meant to stand. Magneto is back. That's that episode. Rogue kind of went through her grief and got through it. And, you know, the team kind of got their asses whipped at the end. But I don't know if we were, like, left on a...
cliffhanger?
Yeah, cliffhanger. I guess with, like, who's this guy, right? Who's this guy? Who's this dude who's got Magneto in a chair? You know, what's his powers? We don't know really anything. He just strangled somebody. But the time that he was on screen, he didn't really use powers at all, right? So, and they introduced this new type of Sentinel, which is, like, really fucking strong. Baby Nate came back.
Baby Nate.
So that was that episode. And that episode took us... We're exactly at 1 hour.
Okay.
You need a break?
Yeah, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. We can take a quick break.
Yeah.
Look at your hair. Who's the name?
I wore this
original-
because my
Who's this guy?
relative is on my shirt.
You
What's
remember
that?
his name?
Which one?
The native in the original. One
Warpath.
Is that his name? Warpath.
Oh,
Not the first time. Not the
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Eagle Butte.
Cheyenne Eagle Butte.
We decided that we're going because I have no notes, and Frog has a couple notes, but we're gonna save episode 8, 9.
8 and 9 together.
No, it's 8, part 1.
Part 1.
So I didn't know what episode. I'm looking at their webcam. I didn't know this last episode was a 2-parter. Surprised.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. I told Mac, I was like, I didn't even look to see that it said part 1 until towards the end of the episode because I was like, they better not fucking leave it off like this because I felt like
They do have another episode coming, right?
Yeah.
You confirmed that.
No, I didn't actually. Unless it's got to be part 2. Like, I don't know. Let's just save a part 2 for like next season.
I hope not.
What the fuck?
They wouldn't do that, would they?
What kind of do me dirty like that? So, but we're gonna cut it short here. We're gonna call it quits after this. We're gonna save episode 8, part 1, or is it episode 9? What the fuck is it?
It's episode 8, bro.
Okay, episode 8, 1.
Part 1.
Part 1. So episode 9 is gonna be part 2.
Yeah. Hopefully, that's a
For sure. There's 9, but
hang on. Let me
9?
confirm that. Talk about the review, your rating, and then we'll. Pull
Okay, so my rating. Oh, that's you. This is me. My rating for episode 7. What did I give it?
You said 3 out of 5, right?
Was it 3 out of 5 for episode 7?
Or was that for 8?
No, I'll do a 4 after thinking about it. Because like you said, the cameos, they kind of kept coming. It was cool. I think the only reason not getting a 5 for me was the Captain America cameo. I wish he got some action. Even if it was just like a little fighting scene. Even if him and Rogue went a couple rounds, like that would have been kind of cool to see. Because we know how like Captain America is like based off of the Avengers MCU universe. We do this all day,
Mm-hmm.
America's ass. So that was kind of not a letdown. It was cool to see him, but like Mackie said, he's got a quick reminder. He's like, this is X-Men. This ain't Marvel. This ain't Avengers. So it's gonna be a 4 out of 5 Gambit cards for me. I don't know if
4 out of 5 Gambit cards.
I had 5, but that was for the next episode.
Oh,
so.
okay.
5 for me, or 4 for me for episode 7, because the good cameos, good story, like the points like I pointed out where like Roberto had support, and like I thought that was pretty cool. And then Rogue breaking down, and then the team being there for her. Really no Wolverine action again, but hopefully. Well, I already know how that next episode rolls.
Next episode, your boy gets justice.
Yep. So it was a good episode overall. Good emotional episode. 4 out of 5.
Gambit cards.
4 out of 5 Gambit cards. I have 5, but that was 4. Next episode, Frog is up. You want to confirm if there's an episode 9 this season?
So I got good news for you.
Is it good news and bad news? Just straight good news.
Just good news. We get 10 episodes instead of 9.
Oh.
So we got 2 more episodes after this.
All right. So next
episode we'll do.
Next episode we'll cover the 2-parters. Okay. Hopefully it's all.
Maybe it's last time because they did part 3s with some of the other ones, Well,
I mean, like hopefully it's because remember how with Life Death it was Life Death part 1, and then it was a different story, then it was Life Death. So hopefully
they better not do that to me.
They better not do this shit, man.
I'm gonna be Angry Birds.
Jump back over to DC. Angry Birds. All right, so new episode coming, part 2, hopefully next week, and we'll cover both those episodes of part 1, part 2. We'll do an overall review of those. I'll have my notes. I'll be on top of my shit. Frog's gonna do his review for episode 7 now.
So I would do 4.
Do you have your notes on it? What you really liked?
I kind of have it in my head already. 4 out of 5 for this episode. Loved it. I would say the last episode was probably my top episode. This is the the next episode is my second favorite, and this is probably my third favorite. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
So like
Episode 8, part 1 is your second favorite.
Yeah.
Got you.
The cameos were just amazing. I loved it. I loved the Hulk cameo there. I don't think the Hulk ever showed up in the previous X-Men series there. There was like some like rights issues and stuff there. But it's glad to see that they're thinking about that and bringing him on potentially. Mm-hmm. Love that. Love the Captain America. These are just like little teases. And I know you said something at the beginning of the podcast. You're like, I don't like just these little cameos and put them in and then they're just there for a little bit. You know what I mean? But we got a Silver Surfer. Quicksilver.
I totally spaced that one off. I forgot about that one, but that was a cool one to see. Like as soon as he did it, I was like, "Hey, that's Silver Surfer!" Like, I no, that's Quicksilver. So that was a cool one to kind of see. And that was cool.
Yeah. So really good. I loved it. And I really like the idea of grief, and basically everybody takes grief differently. And I love to see a different side of Rogue with her powers and stuff, like how powerful she is. It just kind of reminded us how powerful she is. And so that, and then I guess one of the things I didn't like about the episode was, I guess I just didn't like the cliffhanger of like, did my boy Leech make it or not?
Yeah.
And it's like, how did Leech not make it in?
Well, we would think, because it was Callisto, remember? They showed that she was dead, right? Because that's who's grave beast in what'd you call it? Trilby?
Tibby?
Tibby. That's whose grave they were kind of. She was one of the mutants that were, I think, confirmed dead. Was Callisto, and she was the leader of the Morlocks. Sewer people.
Yeah, sewer people.
That Leech is a part of. Was she right by them when Magneto?
I have to look again. I feel like
because if she died. And then, so maybe Leech died, but Magneto lives. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, Leech ain't dead. I don't like Leech like that, but like, he's not one. Like, I hope he die. Like, because he's just a cute character.
I know he was like vulnerable and crying. I was like, man, don't do my boy like that. But
was he crying at the end?
Or kind of like
I don't think he was. Like, because remember he was real confident.
He's real confident,
like,
huh?
Magneto's got me up until like even the point where he was holding on to Magneto. Like, just I don't think he was crying.
And I kind of seen like Magneto as like I was surprised with Magneto in that scene because I thought he was like really masculine and he'd be like, get off, man, don't hug me. I'm trying to protect you, but he was just hey, get man,
off. My woman's over there.
Yeah, but he was just like, no, hug me. It's okay. Don't be.
You don't have to be afraid. That was cool. So but hopefully we're Team Leech now. Hopefully Leech can.
And I did love having Nightcrawler more in this. I mean, I love his power. I love my Nightcrawler. He's one of my favorites too. There's just his like teleporting, and I love like the sound of it. And there's like a gas or was it clouds when he leaves? Like I just love it. And I love like they touched on the relationship between him and his sister there too. Yeah,
like how we that was something you said that you don't think they did. After watching things, they actually did have an episode on him being introduced and telling his story and how him and Rogue are actually adopted siblings and whatnot. So that was in the animated series. But just to touch base on like Nightcrawler, like we mentioned like how he talks and like is just full of like wisdom and just like motivational action, just stuff like you want to listen to, you know. And
I have some like lines from the next episode that I want to share next time we meet, though. You know,
for sure. So shout out to Nightcrawler.
So
R.I.P. to Gambit.
4 out of 5 toads.
That's I have 5 on here, but that's for the next episode. But so 4 out of 5 for Frog, 4 out of 5 for me. It was a good overall episode. Gotta take there's always something you don't like, and then there's always
you just gotta balance it out. You know, there's always something. But these shirts,
let's talk about these shirts, though. Mac on these shirts.
Tell them again how we can get these magnificent.
Well, no one's getting one this episode because no one commented. The goal or the plan was someone comment your favorite mutant, favorite X-Men on the chat, which nobody's done. So it's gonna have to. That shirt's gonna wait until the next episode.
Premium shirt, get on it, guys.
Yep. So now, are we gonna save our surprise for the last episode?
Yeah, we'll save our surprise.
So 2 episodes. Yeah. Okay, so next week, I have the shirts up there. You were showing your shirt. You want to show your shirt one time? I'm going to show the girth. Native American Cyborg Forge. Try to say that.
Forge.
Forge. And I got the Boom Baby shirt on right here.
Baby.
One of my favorite scenes because it includes both of my favorite characters. And then there is the Fingers yellow, royal, and black shirts.
Yellow,
if you
royal,
want
and
to
black
buy a
shirts.
shirt, reach out to me or Frogman. Until next week when we come back. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. I know y'all are watching. Is there anybody out there?
Hello.
No, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'm excited to keep these conversations going. I think we plan to cover the Deadpool movie down the road, later down the road.
Like moving forward, we talked about what are we gonna do after
figure out our programming.
97. Like I think it's like
maybe we watch some of the old 97
we could.
episodes.
Or like the seasons. Yeah, we could for sure. I think that might be the route, so we can get kind of caught back up and know what's going on. What are your? I think I asked you this already, but anything new like out in the Marvel universe out there, like as far as like X-Men and
let me tell you.
Forward, anything you hear?
So
let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell.
So
let's hear it.
There's rumors out there that they're beginning to cast the X-Men people right now.
Yeah.
Actors, and they plan, I think, to shoot in 2025 the first X-Men movie. And I think the X-Men movie is supposed to take place after the first Avengers movie because the Avengers is gonna be a two-parter. And then they said it's supposed to focus on Xavier and there's one more person. The story's gonna focus on them, but talks about how like when the heck's her name, Monica Rambeau was stuck in that universe at the end of the Marvels. That's the X-Men that they're gonna take and they're gonna switch over to another dimension, something like that. But yeah, heard about that. Not sure if you're aware, but there's a Captain America / Black Panther game coming out. They showed a trailer.
I think I saw like a trailer. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
like,
they put a trailer out on it.
Fight scene or something.
And so not sure when that's gonna be coming out, but that sounds.
What's going on with Indiana Jones playing? Red Hulk?
You brought a good.
I saw something about that.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. So
that's confirmed, right? Like
yeah,
Ross.
They actually released a picture of Sam Wilson's Captain America suit, so you can look that online. It's not exclusive; it's out there. And then is his name Thaddeus Ross or Thunderbolt Ross? Thaddeus. His
like middle name or nickname's Thunderbolt.
Okay.
Thunderbolt because he's like on a rampage all the time.
So the actor that played the previous Thaddeus passed. I can't remember who it was. So now it's Harrison Ford. And they actually did some Indiana Jones. It's Han Solo. Han Solo's playing Thaddeus Ross, and they actually did some
Indiana Jones.
He's Indiana Jones. So that they did some test footage with a crowd. So crowd people seeing some footage from the new Captain America movie. Yeah.
Cool.
And he's going to be in there, and there's rumors that he might be Red Hulk in the movie. Harrison.
That he might transform because he is for sure playing Thaddeus Ross.
He is.
And that's just something I just read. He might transform into Red Hulk, which would be kind of cool, I guess. I've never seen Red Hulk, or we'd never seen Red Hulk on screen.
Yeah. So he's taking that role, and I think it's an interesting role. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited.
I think like the biggest thing I'm excited for is that Deadpool movie.
Right.
The one thing I didn't like in the trailer though, like I know Wolverine's like a little asshole here and there, and I know how like the Deadpool movies are like R-rated and whatnot. I just don't like the cussing.
You don't?
Especially like Wolverine cussing way too much and dropping F-bombs and like one here and there is nice because like
but not continuously.
But I could see like it's Deadpool and he's supposed to be like an asshole getting on his turn.
Well, you're feeling like that. I felt the same because I watched Logan the other night and I felt the same way. There was like a lot of cussing from my boy Charles Xavier.
Yeah,
that really threw me off. But it's the tone.
But I think you gotta take into like what went on, what's going on in that world and in their lives and whatnot. And, they're just at a point where they're just I gotta fucking drop some cuss words.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the Deadpool movie.
I wish they would have like saved the review of like him sleeveless for the movies because I know a lot of people were like,
yeah, like when people saw it,
I want him without sleeves. But I'm just like, don't give us a lot of the goods. Just show us in the movie. I mean, don't let the trailer show reviews too much. Because that's why I texted you. I was like, man, I'm glad they didn't show too much stuff because I feel like they gave us a lot in that trailer already. like.
Well, shit, that's what like the Avengers build up was kind of, and then still though, like at the end, like
you're still
like
satisfied.
we can speak on it, like because Avengers been out for years now. Like,
Spoiler.
remember they showed Hulk. Remember they showed Hulk in the final battle, running with them, and then to come find out he wasn't, you know, and then. Spoiler.
Did you know that was changed kind of like a little bit right before premiere? Yeah.
And then another one is like your boy Spider-Man movie, like where they showed Spider-Man swinging, and then come movie time, all three of them were there. You know, so like you said, there's you feel like they showed a lot, but they can easily make changes and add and whatnot, and that's a cool thing about these movies and being a fan of this stuff is constantly being left on the fucking cool and not cool thing, constantly being left with cliffhangers and on the edge of our seats, and that's what we get excited about. So shirts are out here available. I feel like I had something else, but it slipped my mind and I forgot. I was probably going to talk
you want to show your comics?
Oh yeah, I got some comics there. So after our last episode, there was a, what was it called, comic book convention?
It was
at the mall,
some kind of toy convention too.
Yeah, I almost got some more stuff for the get up here, but I bought some comics. Let's switch over to mine. And of course it's Wolverine and Gambit inspired was my, but these are actually the first comics, X-Men, Marvel, that I've actually bought.
That's a nice one.
That was an older one. And there's like one about Cable, because Cable's kind of important in these ones we're watching. I just realized it's Professor X.
That's what I'm saying. How you doing, Mr. X?
What you doing, our boy? I don't think I read this one yet. But what I noticed, I told Frog this, because I know Frog was kind of bothered by like the length of our episodes in this X-Men 97 series. I really bought these expecting like a full-on story. And then after reading it, I told him like, there's fucking ads in here. There's like promotional stuff in here that take up like probably not 50% of the book, but these comics are more of like a scene, like just like this Wolverine one is, it's him battling downtown. Like I thought it was going to be the Marvel Universe versus Wolverine. Kind of expect a lot going in, right? But it's really just Wolverine fight. I ain't gonna spoil that, but he's battling like
buy the comic book. Yeah.
Yep. So I was telling him like we can't be too upset that these episodes are the lengths that they are, because just think like back in the day when people could only read comics, you know, and
I can't remember how often those come out. I don't know if they would come out monthly or weekly. I don't know. I asked my dad because he would get the Spider-Man ones too when he was younger. My dad would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is your dad kind of the reason you like Spider-Man so much?
Yeah, because he loves Spider-Man.
Was that his shit?
Yeah, Spider-Man's his.
Cool.
I remember
bring Mr. Frog, Senior Frog
on. He said he would too. I remember like when my mom would go grocery shopping, and you know, there's always like a magazine section or whatever. So I'd always feel guilty. I'd go over and find the comic books, and I'd be reading them, motherfuckers, and I'd put them back. You know what I mean? But never got told that you had to buy them. But I just remember that's kind of how I got the comic books, whatever. But
that's how I got into it. All right, good one. We'll be back next weekend. That's the plan, anyway. We'll be back next weekend. Frog hit him with the fingers. You want a shirt? Like I said, I'll throw them up there one more time so you guys can see them. The prices are listed above. If you want a shirt, reach out to Mackie. Reach out to me. Until next week, guys. This is Podcast X. I'm T-Bear. He's MackMan. Peace.